Alright, how we doing? This is going to be a little bit of a review on the Sawmi dethatcher scarifier. I've done a couple of videos on the lawn before. This has been down since earlier in the year, and it's always been a bit ordinary. Plenty of lumps and bumps. Actually looking pretty good now. Go back 3 weeks ago, I used this machine. Turned up a little while ago, and pretty happy with it. It's been about 3 weeks now. Grass come back pretty good. There's a few patches there, but the purpose is about this. So, never done the dethatching scarifying before. Saw plenty of talk of it. Saw it used on one of the other channels, and had a look, and they were coming in for a shipment earlier in the year. It was $300. So I had a look around and I thought, well, do I buy petrol one, battery ones? And I said, no, well, petrol one, you got to use it a couple of times a year. As you know, petrol goes bad. You're going to pull it out of the shed a couple of times a year, probably won't go, who knows what. Battery ones, look, I don't have any battery mowers at this stage, and sort of not a huge fan of far as batteries are going to become expensive. How long are they going to last? So sort of, as much as you don't want to have a corded thing, it actually wasn't too bad using it with the cord. And sort of my theory is, well, it was $300. They're going up now, they're $340, but $300. Theory is use it a couple of times a year. You know, hopefully it's going to last plenty of years. You're not going to have petrol stop working, not going to have batteries go. So, as you can see, it's a bit dirtier now than it was. I gave this a run, so it's got different adjustments on it, and I ended up using it the lowest measurement. Ended up using this attachment as opposed to the blade attachment. I did do a couple of runs across, 2 runs probably, and it pulled out a fair bit of pulled out some sections of grass, but as you can see now, look, it's 3 weeks now, and that's growing in. But I think overall this worked pretty good. I've got a short run across. It's probably what, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's maybe 10 meters across. This is about 120 square meters. When I first started using this attachment, one run across filled the catcher full, and I ended up with about 3 odd wheelie bins, full-size wheelie bins full of crap that came out. So there's a little bit of green. It was probably about 70-80% thatch that pulled out, but it wasn't too hard to put together out of the box. Like most blokes, I didn't really read the instruction book too much. The trickiest part was the catcher bit here with this metal bracket on it, but managed to get that together. Pretty easy. It's got a bar on it, there's a safety button, but yeah, my rotary mower goes down to 10mm, so I'll give it a good cut down to 10mm, and then ripped into it with this, and went both ways in a crisscross pattern, like noughts and crosses, up and down, side to side, and yeah, just left it. The watering system's been on every couple of days, and as you can see, look, there's still some patchy bits here. We got some lumps and holes. I was hoping to top dress, but haven't really got round to that. We've got a little bit of clover which had popped up before. Need to spray that, but there's a little bit of fairly bare spots here. But as you can see, look, the wintergreen cooch has grown back in, but it looks far better than it did before. But overall, rate the machine, yeah, I reckon it's pretty good. I reckon it's worthwhile. I don't think the lawn would be looking as good as it does without it. Never had one before. Done years and years of whippersnippers and mowers and just mowing grass, but I reckon it's made a huge difference. So for the money, as I said, look, cord's not the greatest thing in the world, but it wasn't too much of a pain in the ass to use it with the cord. The only real issue, which is not an issue with the machine, is you can't get right up to the edge, right up here. So it's still thatchy in there. So probably if I was doing it again, which will be next time, we'll go through it again for springtime. I'd do the whippersnipper right up to the edge and just take out that bit there. The whippersnipper's conked out at the moment, that's why the edges haven't done here, but I'd probably get that there. But look, overall I'm pretty happy. I think it's looking good. It's still got a bit to go, but there's some nice bits of grass coming up that's filling in. I tried to give it a little mow last week, but it wasn't quite up high enough. It's growing up a bit now, so there's a bit over here, so this it's getting a little bit longer there. So I think overall pretty happy with it. So if you're thinking about buying one, as I said, look, if you've got, there's a few like the battery ones. If you've already got a Ryobi mower, then you might buy the Ryobi one. But I think overall, I'd like to think that it should last many years. Of you're only going to use it a couple of times a year, so hopefully I expect to see it in 10 years time still be using it. As I said, that other blade, it was ripping some chunks out of the lawn, so I went with that one. But overall I was very happy with it. So it's probably worth having a look at it. That's the Sawmi website. They're pretty easy to deal with, as far as it was a pre-order for that shipment, so I paid a $50 deposit. Sort of a bit across the fingers, am I going to get something? But there was no issue there. Let me know when the container's arriving, and then it turned up. But I didn't get it out for a few weeks because I was sort of mucking around deciding what to do. We were still that was in early January I think it was, so it's still pretty hot weather. But as I said, I did this 3 weeks ago, and I think it actually looks pretty good. It looks better, definitely looks better than how it did before. So whether just the low mow probably helped anyway, but the debris, you can tell the difference between here where it was versus over here along the edge, which still looks pretty crummy obviously. So you can see the stuff coming out. So I think, yeah, honestly it does make a big difference. I think in the next couple of weeks, as more of the grass tends to grow back in, because there is definitely still some high spots, but even here where it's all starting to grow back in. So have a look if you're thinking about buying one. I think it's definitely worth the crack. Whether you buy this one or buy another one, I still think doing the job does make a massive difference to the lawn overall. So check them out and see how you go. See ya.